Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. Hello there. We are hanging out with Guy Olson from PFS, Performance Fuel Specialist. Guy, last time you were here, you were talking about things we can do every day to maintain our fuel system and keep things running well. What's some advice you can give folks?
Well, you know, we've been talking about our additives, gas and diesel, but one of the things that an additive can't do is replace good maintenance, good fuel, or plain old common sense, right? But we also want to help you understand the issues. That's our main goal. My goal isn't just to sell you something. I want to educate you, teach you so you can make good decisions on your own.
Last time you were here, you were talking about anti-gel products and you were talking about fuel blends when it comes to diesel.
Yeah.
So what about the emergency products out there when your engine gels up and you are in trouble?
So we're firm believers in being proactive, right? Treat your fuel, treat it the way we recommend, follow our guidelines. You can get it online, our when to blend guidelines. You won't need an emergency use product. That's the goal. But one of the common misconceptions with emergency use products is that if it degels and de-ices, it must be a great anti-gel, and there's nothing could be farther from the truth. First off, these are emergency use products only, right? Well, why are they only emergency? Well, first off, because they're generally really caustic, really hard on your equipment. And just because they degel doesn't mean they're an anti-gel. As a matter of fact, they're not an anti-gel. So don't be thinking about using these all the time. We don't have one simply because if you follow our guidelines, you're not going to need it.
What about filter and line icing? Alcohol, is that a solution to that?
Well, your manufacturers do not want any alcohol in your fuels. None of our additives have the alcohol themselves. Our goal is to keep it clean. We talked in our summer segment about using an additive every time, removing the water a little at a time. So when winter gets here, we don't have any icing because we've removed the water ahead of time.
On your PFS bottle, it says complete formula. What does that mean?
That means we're covering all the areas of fuel that you really need to be covering, whether it's stability, using the antioxidants, lubricity, which is about 25% increase, taking care of the injectors, the combustion chambers, the soot levels, the DPF unit, keeping that clean. Our summer additive, Power Plus, is the same as our winter. We've just added the anti-gel to it, so you're getting the complete formula in all of the products. You don't always know the problem you have. You can't look at your fuel and say, this is the problem I have. So we treat all of them.
So do you recommend using both products?
No. The summer product, the Power Plus, only for summer, and the Arctic Extreme only for the winter.
That makes a lot of sense. Of course, everybody can use this in their vehicle, but you love fleets. How can they benefit from what you have at PFS?
Well, part of it, when we do our training for the fleets, we go and do about a 3.5-hour seminar where we teach them to take care of their fuel and take control of their fuel. One of the things we have is we have bulk, so you can buy in any size. You can treat your bulk tanks ahead of time. But we also have tools that can help you. One of the things is our hydrometer. We have these made for us, and it allows you to quickly and easily check the blend of a fuel before it is put into your bulk tank.
Well, do refineries actually make different fuels for winter and summer, warm weather, cold weather?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in the winter, around October 1st, they'll start making what they call a winter blend. But it's not a blend. And so in the industry, I refer to it as a formula, their winter formula or recipe. It's designed for winter use. So many people confuse winter blend with a blended fuel, and it's not. If it's a blended fuel, it'll either say it on the pump or you will manually be blending that yourself.
A lot of fleets out there, folks that own fleets, they're bidding out for the fuel. They want to go for the lowest price. Why do you discourage that?
Yeah, well, because you don't always know what you're getting, and what we've seen in the past is if you order a blend, because the cost of number one is so expensive, that if you cheat just a little bit on the blend or maybe don't give exactly what it is, you can get the lower price and get the bid. And what I say is find somebody who will take care of you, who's dedicated to you. You're not going for the cheaper price, and he's the guy you want to use. But we do recommend every time you get a load of fuel, you check that before it goes into your tank.
I tell you what, Guy has forgotten more about fuel than I will ever know. You can tap into this information. You can sign up for his newsletter, and if you do that, you're going to get free shipping on anything over $30. And you can also go to the website, find out more about the technology. Plus, you can go to YouTube and find some of our older episodes where Guy appears, and he's going to give you a whole lot of information there. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. In the meantime, you go check out FuelGuys.com.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, Shade Wagon, throw some shade, and by DragonFireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com, and this is a cell phone. Of course, we all have them, and you're a motorhead, so I know you love to be in your car. So what do you do with your phone when you're in your car? You've got a lot of options, right? You can put it on the magnet on the dash. That's on your vent. It's going to block your vent in the summertime. That's a bad deal. In the wintertime, it's going to fry your phone. And you can put it in your cup holder. You can put it on your lap. But of course, you know you're going to drive it. It's going to fall into the crack there, and you'll never see it again. And half of the states, Scott, in the union don't allow you to hold it in your hand anyway, and that's a bad idea. So what's my solution? What can I do?
So you put it in a cell phone seat. Cell phone seat is the newest device in the market. It is a single piece of plastic that's got a flexible base. All you got to do is flex this and pop it in your cup holder and release it. It's going to lock in there, and then guess what? Now you're legally hands-free. You can just drop your phone in there like that. You can also go horizontal. You got power cord access here, and here's the best part. Cell phone seat does not block your cup holder. You still have room for your drink.
Whoa, that is cool. And it's so simple. Why didn't somebody think of this before?
I don't know. It was exactly the same with me. I was driving in my neighborhood in my truck. I threw my phone in my cup holder like most people do, and it landed in some kind of a goo, you know, from my kid's squeeze pack. And I pulled my phone out, and I was kind of annoyed, and I thought, why isn't there a better solution? And kind of this idea popped in my head, and I went home to look for it. You go home and you look online, and I was like, this has to exist. It didn't exist. I couldn't figure out why. So I decided to draw it out, you know, much to my wife's dismay, as she's looking over my shoulder saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? I was like, I got an idea. I got an idea. So I drew it out. I found actually a designer that could do 3D AutoCAD type designs, and we 3D printed them just to test it out. And I got the first one I remember that was 3D printed, and it was huge. It was like this big. And the guy that was kind of helping me with the designs felt bad. He's like, I messed it up, it's too big. I was like, no, 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 send it, let me see it. I need to know if this works. Sure enough, I put the big one in my cup holder. Even though it was giant, it worked perfectly. So we kept going, and as you can see now, we have the final version. It took about 6 years to actually get this just right. But now we have a universal cell phone mount that fits in about 90% of vehicle cup holders, holds pretty much any phone, phones with cases, any type of phone, phones with accessories, pop sockets, loopies, doopies, sloopies, whatever you got. This one simple device is going to work for most everything.
What are some of the little extras you put a lot of thought into to keep the phone in place there?
Sure, so the first thing we did was we cut out these side slots here, and that's going to allow you to put your phone in there horizontal. Interestingly enough, it also works with tablets in that horizontal slot. We put this in my son's cup holder on his car seat, and he can put his iPad in there for long road trips. We put a flexible tab here that's going to put a little pressure on the phone, so it's going to hold phones in there, you know, phones without cases, smaller phones, it's going to hold those in a little bit tighter. And then it also can flex back when you have bigger cases like this. This is an iPhone 14 Pro with a wallet on it. It's going to be able to flex back and hold those in there as well. Those bigger cases with OtterBox cases, it's going to be able to push that tab back and hold that in as well. We have power cord access here, so obviously people want to be able to charge their phone in the car. And I like the fact that this sits in your cup holder. Your power cord is staying down here to the side. A lot of newer cars have those flexible tabs in their cup holders, or those rubber kind of squares. So we cut the slots out here to allow those tabs to go right in there, and they work great. It's so fun to put this in when you have those spring-loaded tabs and hear it just click in place like it's meant for it. But that doesn't mean that you need those tabs. It's going to work with cup holders without the tabs or without the rubber things as well. You know, it's going to work in a lot of different cup holder styles as long as they're between about 2.5 to 4 inches and round, which pretty much
most of them are, right?
Most of them are.
You put so much thought into the design. How much thought did you put into the materials that you're using as well?
We talked about doing, you know, different types of plastics. We talked about doing different types of materials like rubber. We landed on ABS plastic, which is the same thing that Legos are made out of. It's a very non-toxic, safe plastic, right? Because kids play with it. And if you've ever stepped on a Lego in the middle of the night, you know how strong ABS plastic is.
Guilty as charged.
This is a very strong, well-made device. It's going to work in extreme heat. It's going to work in, you know, extreme cold. It's a very universal material.
It's a veteran-owned company. The product is made in America, and this is going to make things a lot safer and more convenient for you when you're behind the wheel. It is called the cell phone seat. You can find it at cellphoneseat.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com, so don't go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, coming to you from the Shade Wagon studio.
Your engine running a little rough? Or perhaps it's even stalling. It might be time to clean your throttle body. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. You know, throttle bodies have been getting gummed up more and more now, more than ever. Why is that? Oh, great question. Let me show you why. Because of technology. You know, we used to have carburation, and carburation, well, the fuel went down, washed over the actual butterfly, all the way from the carburetor, the valves, kept everything clean in that intake manifold. Then we went to TBI injection, that's throttle body injection. Once again, we're shooting up at the top. Even though it's injection, we're washing those throttle plates all the way down, intake valve. Then we got to some multi-port injection. You can see we're injecting right there, not on top of the throttle plates, but yet still over that valve, so we got some fluid down in there and some fuel in there, and we kept everything clean, including that intake manifold. Well, welcome to today, folks. We got direct injection. Now, direct injection, we're going right into that cylinder. So what happens on the strokes when that intake valve's open? That thing's puffing up all kinds of debris up into that intake manifold, all over those valves and on that throttle body. What do? Well, it's pretty simple. Get you some AMSOIL product and do a throttle body cleaning. You can see here, it's pretty simple. Just go in there and wipe it down, spray it good on both sides of that throttle plate. Make sure that you get both sides all nice and clean. Boy, the debris and the soot comes right off of it. It's amazing what that'll do with a vehicle when it's idling or stalling. You may just fix the problem. Now, you gotta be a little bit careful though. You start to get into these drive-by wires. Now, on my drive-by wire, you may not be able to open the throttle body with your finger. You may have to go through a procedure. And when you go through that procedure, just make sure you follow it to a T so you don't mess up the throttle body or the computer. And these things have become real sophisticated. A lot of stuff going on with that fuel injection systems. AMSOIL built in a ton of products to address these issues.
Yeah, from the standpoint of what you were just talking about up there, cleanliness becomes key, and you want to make sure that deposits are not forming on anything, because as you described, things get clogged, things don't work properly. So you definitely want to make sure things are keeping clean.
Now, what do you do to that as far as oil or both products? You build it in there so that keeps the deposit down.
Hey, for that one, it's an easy answer. It's both.
You do that now. The throttle body cleaner, you have that as well.
Yeah, AMSOIL Power Foam would be the product that we would recommend for cleaning the way that you just described. You wouldn't just spray it in there. You would spray it in there and then wipe it, just like you kind of demonstrated. But from the fuel additive standpoint, once again, it's about detergency. It's about concentrated detergency, and concentrated being the key word on that one. You want to make sure that you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, a lot of potency, because that's going to strip that carbon out of there, run it through, get it out of the way so that everything can work freely. From the motor oil standpoint, the transmission oil standpoint, it's about the quality level of the detergents and that you're putting them in there in the proper format. So based on the application you're using, you want to make sure that the detergent is properly dosed, something we do all the time at AMSOIL.
Oh, perfect. If your engine's running rough or you just want to do some preventative maintenance, you're only a click away to the best products on the planet. Just go to AMSOIL.com.
My name is Charles Leopard. This is my 1978 J10 Jeep, Golden Eagle. My dad purchased the Jeep in 1980, and we've had it ever since. Dad passed away about 23 years ago. We cleaned the Jeep up 15 years ago. You can't replace Dad. Dad's gone. Dad was the key fixture of our family. He was the man. And you drive the truck, Dad's in there with you. You appreciate that. Our family, everybody grew up in the truck. Every one of my nephews, my sisters, we all learned to drive straight drives in this truck. It's just part of the family. And to be able to put it back and still drive it around and enjoy it, it's been worth every bit of it. It's a farm truck. It was a mess. New bed, we just had to do a frame-off restoration. It was pretty poor shape. We had to take 3 beds because you can buy no sheet metal for the trucks anymore. Use the best of the 3, build a bed. A lot of machine, a lot of work on the body, but everything else is original. The drivetrain transmission is the only thing that has not been touched. It's bulletproof, hasn't had any issues. And we've gone completely through the engine, just making it fresh, cleaning it up. I've done 100% of it other than the paint work. And Bobby G Paint and Body and Traveler Trest, he's my paint guy. It's been painted 15 years now, and he is still the best painter in the world. It's the original acrylic enamel paint that's been polished, it's been worked on, but there's no clear on the truck, none whatsoever. To us, it's a family piece. It has been since 1980. Our grandkids will be the 4th generation owner of it. So we're gonna try to keep it shined up and let them ride it.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. Industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage. And brought to you by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store. Dirty Deeds Industries, performance without drone. And by Clamp Tight, clamp anything, any size, any shape, anywhere.
All right, I've got one for you. A nuclear scientist, a college instructor, and a defense contractor walk into a television studio. All right, it's not a joke, it actually just happened. This is Pasha Rudenko, and he is with Tribotex. It's something you're gonna love. Tell us what it is.
So Tribotex, it's a result of my PhD work at Washington State University that based on nanotechnology, and we call it dumbest possible artificial intelligence. Let me break it down for you. If you would say in the future had a nanobot and you would tell that nanobot to go swim in the engine and fix, let's say, play in the bearing, what the nanobot would do? It would grab a small amount of material, swim into the engine, attach it to a surface, swim back and repeat, right? We did exactly just that, but with as little of intelligence as possible. Let me explain how it is. So we made flat nanoparticles that have chemically and functionally different sides. One side is sticky and another is slippery. So when the nanoparticles attach to a surface, they only attach by sticky side and expose slippery side. So sticky side reinforce the surface and strengthen it, and slippery side protect it from the future damage. And interestingly enough, when many of those particles attach particle by particle, they go into attach in random pattern, forming porous structure. And that porous structure is thick enough to compensate for the wear that was accumulated for decades of the function of the mechanism. So we used that technology and simplified it for the everyday consumer to be used in engines, gearboxes, power steering pumps, rear differentials, front differentials, all kinds of the mechanisms that are lubricated by regular lubricants that over time wear out, that need some attention. So we went and asked several government agencies, would you be interested in us bringing this technology to the market? And National Science Foundation funded us to build the production capacity. And after that, we had a lot of material, but we didn't have customers. So we decided, how are we gonna bring it to the market? We put it on Kickstarter, then on Indiegogo, blow out our initial goals, and then Amazon, eBay. Now we bring it to retailers. So we just happy with the results.
All right, so the Air Force uses Tribotex, and big industry uses this. What can Tribotex do for me on my little car at home?
Every car over time wears out, and spherical bearings become elliptical at times. So you get little play and you hear it as an extra noise. So when this noise happens, the more particles can deliver it into that little gap, and they build a layer particle by particle, so your bearings effectively shrink. So you rebuild engine without disassembly, just with the syringe of Tribotex. That's one part of it. But that coating is not just thick and protective. It is also more lubricious than the material was before. So the bearing become more efficient. That reduces heat and reduces a little bit fuel consumption. Overall, those benefits are very useful for everyone who can keep their car longer and retain efficiency over long term.
How quickly am I going to notice the results once I put Tribotex in?
That's a very good question. The first difference in noise you will hear about 15 minutes in, and we want you to wait for those 15 minutes so the material gets dispersed over time pretty well. But the real benefits happens when the cylinders and rings get coated, and this is just slow splash lubrication within the motor, so it takes longer. It takes about 10 motor hours, and we call it about 500 miles. So when those got coated, then you start realizing benefits of better fuel consumption and lower heat rejection into coolant. So the temperature of engine goes down again by a little bit.
If you want to see more, you can check them out on their website at tribotex.com.
For the second week in a row, the PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week is a repeat performer. We told you a few months ago about Joe Boucher. Now, Joe bought a '73 Camaro Z28 brand new in 1973. He restored it a few years back with lots of help from his mom. And lots of folks told us they loved the car, and so did the judges at a recent show. Joe won the Judges' Choice Award at the Slammed Enough Car Show in Branson, Missouri. That's pretty impressive in a field of over 200 vehicles. Way to go, Joe. We know your mom would be very proud. Joe Boucher, two-time PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. Now, Joe sent me a note at dave@motorheadgarage.tv, and you can do the same if you think you should be Motorhead of the Week or if someone you know is deserving of that honor. We'll be back next week with more great products for your vehicle and more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. Come on back then. We'll see you.